So the other day I was talking with Mike over at synthesizers.com, and he told me something that really surprised me. And this was something that was discovered completely by accident. So you've heard of wavefolding? Typically you see that in the Eurorack stuff. Well, it turns out that you can do it with one of the most basic modules that they sell, and that's the Q108 VCA. But you do it by hooking it up wrong. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to do a diagram first because this is such a mess here, it's kind of hard to see. We'll do a diagram so you can see what's going on, and I want to show you what it sounds like. So the way we hook this up is we're going to come out of the oscillator, and instead of going into the input of the Q108, we're going to go into control input number 1. That's right, we're putting audio into the control. Then on control input number 2, we're going to connect that to a voltage. I have that connected to a 5-volt source over here that's variable, and I'm probably running it at around 3 volts. The other signal input is actually going to get a control voltage, and I have that connected to a pitch bend. Yes, so exactly opposite of the way you would normally connect this thing. So I want you to see what happens with the waveforms. Okay, so I'm going to play a note. And as I turn the modulation wheel up, you notice the wave folds over on itself. And you can adjust it with some of the adjustments on the Q108 to get just the right amount of harmonic. So if you want to sound like you're doing an octave, now it turns out that I'm reducing the input voltage from the oscillator to the VCA to keep that top signal that we're looking at symmetrical. But it is also limiting the effect. I'm going to go ahead and turn the oscillator up all the way. Try that again. So it's cutting off the bottom. It's giving us more range on the pitch bend, and it just sounds a little better. I guess with that chopping off on the bottom, it adds a little. Now it sounds good when it's moving, so you could take the DC that you're sending to that input and change it to an oscillator. So I have a low frequency oscillator. We can get that. It's clearly not the same as vibrato. And then of course you can play with the speed. But what's really fun is if you change your oscillator, your LFO, and put it in the audio range. And check this out. And it can be really grungy. Now, the only thing is normally with wave folding, when you fold the top of the wave like we're doing here, you would also fold the bottom. We're not doing that here with this particular Q108. That's just how it works. But it made me think, well, what if we came out of the negative output and took that into a second Q108, connected it the same way. So that means we're going through 2 Q108s. getting that third bump on there, which is great. That fixed voltage I mentioned, you can play with that and kind of tune what's going to happen when you get to full volume. You can also tune your gains on the VCA's and kind of tune how that's going to respond. Oh yeah, isn't that great? Man. All right, so what about the LFO? Let's try that. I'm going to put that back on. We'll do the low frequency first. Okay, that's cool. But check out the audio. Wave folding with a Q108. Enjoy.